CBS FM HD2, New York.
With Progressive Customer Service, there are lots of ways to connect with us, so you never have to miss a second of your favorite sport. Because you'd much rather watch a ball go through a net 124 times in 48 minutes when you don't really have to pay attention until the last two, and then somehow those 2 minutes will take an hour. You don't want to miss all that. Luckily, you can chat with Progressive on our app, online, or over the phone without missing a single one of those times the ball goes through the metal circle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Monday. It is November 10th, 2025. Michael K. and you for two. And a lot to talk about because moments ago, Brian Daboll, the head coach or the former head coach of the Giants, has been fired according to our very own Adam Schefter. And when you lose games like you lost yesterday in Chicago, when you lose games like you lost in Denver, when you lose games like you lost against Dallas, this is what's going to happen. Now, whether or not it's his fault, who could tell? I always thought he was a pretty good coach. But, just seeing the look on his face on the sidelines yesterday as another lead was evaporating in the fourth quarter, he just lost. Looked like he didn't have any answers. Let me give you some numbers that were thrown out. In the fourth quarter of the Cowboy game, the Giants had a 92.3% chance to win. In the fourth quarter of the Bronco game, they had a 99.3% chance to win. In the fourth quarter of the Bears game, they had a 96.9% chance to win. To lose all three of those games with the high winning percentage that was there, it was 1 in 60,000 that could happen. It happened, and now Mike Kafka, the offensive coordinator, is the interim head coach. Now, what does it do to fire a coach at this point when the Giants are 2-8? I'm not quite sure what. I mean, do you set back the maturation of Jackson Dart, who seemed like he had a very good rapport with Brian Daboll? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, Dart got hurt yesterday, and in his short NFL career, including the preseason, he, in fact, was brought into the concussion tent 4 times. Yesterday, he was not allowed to leave the concussion tent without being told that that's it. You will not be back in this game. So maybe they looked at it and said, what they're allowing him to do is actually going to hurt him more than the head coach being let go. Now, my answer to that would be, well, Mike Kafka is the offensive coordinator. He's the one that had him running. He's the one that had him putting his health in jeopardy. And now he's going to be the head coach. Is going to continue to call plays. Now, you could obviously say, well, Daboll is the offensive genius, and he's a guy that probably had say in everything that was done offensively. But was he calling the plays? Probably not. And when you look at it, the Giants' biggest problem was more or less their defense. Shane Bowen has done a really, really bad job sealing these victories. Because 2-8, I'm telling you, could easily be 5-5. Easily. They played well enough to be 5-5. But yesterday they let it go again. And the bottom line is this. You got a coach that's a head coach. That's an ex-coach now. Is it the right move? Listen, I wish I was smart enough to tell you if it was the right move, but in all likelihood, he was gone at the end of the year anyway. He had to be, right? You can't have years like this. His record now is 20-40-1. This is his fourth year, 10 games into his fourth year. And since starting the season or his career, 9-7-1, he's 11-33. It's hard to hang your hat on that. Now, I just heard Bart Carlin talking about, well, what does this mean for Joe Schoen? I noticed something. I wonder if you all noticed it too. A couple of weeks ago, Joe Schoen allowed Paul Schwartz, who's a really fine, long-time reporter that covers the Giants for the Post, unlimited access, it seemed, to the front office and how they do things. And to me, that was a guy who was saving his backside. Why all of a sudden are you allowing a reporter unlimited access in the middle of a season to how you do things and how you evaluate players? So for those that, and then there were stories, some of them in the Post, that, and I think Paul wrote one of them, just because Daboll went didn't mean that Schoen was going to go. I think that Schoen read the writing on the wall, and he said, I've got to protect my backside. And he started running from a different flank. So maybe Schoen has information that he's not going anywhere. And I don't think that Schoen did that much of a better job than Daboll. Did Schoen make the move on Dart without being pushed by Daboll? Daboll's the one who loved Dart. Schoen got it done. But take a look at some of the draft picks. Okay, Malik Neighbors was good. I think I could have made that pick. How about Evan Neal? Abdul Carter does not look good at this point, does he? Now, I'm not giving up on him. I think he's an exceptional talent. I think he's going to end up being an exceptional player. But tell me where he has excelled in the draft and putting this team together. Because you can't blame this on Dave Gettleman anymore. You can't. This is his team. This is Joe Schoen's team. When you have 4 years to turn it around, you can turn it around. I'm sorry. I'm not blaming it on Gettleman anymore. You can say, well, they took over a bad cap situation. Really? Then why were they 9-7-1 in the first year with most of Gettleman's players? How did he mess up the Saquon Barkley situation? Effectively handing the Eagles the Super Bowl. Never put anybody around Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is excelling now in Indianapolis with a good offensive line and other weapons around him. So I think the two of them, both Schoen and Daboll, thought that they could hang their hat and their job security on one Jackson Dart. It's going to be interesting to see does Joe Schoen get to keep his job because he drafted Jackson Dart, while Brian Daboll, who put a 25th pick in the first round and made him a viable NFL quarterback, he doesn't get to keep his job. How much of this is Daboll's fault? How much of this is Schoen's fault? Schoen still has a job today. Brian Daboll does not have a job. And that tells you all you need to know. Again, the access that Schoen gave to the New York Post led me to believe a couple of weeks ago, why is this happening? It's very rare because most NFL front offices, it's like the Kremlin. And the last time we got a look at an NFL front office was on Hard Knocks. And I'm telling you what, Joe Schoen did not distinguish himself. Look lost. Look lost. The conversation they had with John Mara about Saquon Barkley. He did not see the market for running backs turning around the way it did. Now everybody's paying running backs what he refused to pay Saquon Barkley. He had one of the great running backs in the NFL, and you just let him go to your biggest rival, the Eagles and the Cowboys. You let him go to the Eagles. Listen, I'm not calling for anybody's job. You know the rules of engagement with me. But if Daboll goes, tell me Schoen can't go? What is Schoen hanging his hat on? That's what I'd like to know. What is he hanging his hat on? So the Giants lose to the Bears yesterday, a game they should not have lost, 24-10. Again, Shane Bowen's D, 2 TDs allowed in the final 4 minutes. Giants have an 11-game road losing streak. Jackson Dart had to leave the game because of a concussion. 4 in-game concussion tests since preseason. Not good. And a couple of questionable decisions by Daboll. 4th and 1, 19-yard field goal he took with 10:19 remaining. That made it 20-10. I don't have as much of a problem with that as other people do. You should be able to protect a 2-score lead with that amount of time remaining. He also bypassed a 37-yard field goal in the first quarter to go for it, and then went on 4th and 2 at midfield, leading to the Bears' first touchdown. So a lot of questionable things, and it just seemed, even in his post-game press conferences, that Brian Daboll was resigned. Brian Daboll was resigned. Oh, he didn't resign, he got fired, but it looked like he knew the writing on the wall. So Daboll gone. Shane at this point still has his job. Let's see what you're thinking. Greg in the work truck. Greg.
Hey, Michael, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Mostly spectacular. Before I get to my Giants point, I told you last week that I was recovering from an emergency procedure. I wanted to let you know I'm finally back to work and I've been medically cleared.
Excellent. Good work.
Say again?
Good work.
Thank you, sir. I disagree with this aspect of the Giants firing Daboll. I don't think it does anything for the rest of the season. But if anything, because the Giants in the last several games against Dallas, Denver, and the Bears had a over 90% win percentage, and yet somehow Shane Bowen has a job where you blow all these leads, I don't know what ownership is thinking. If you want to fire Daboll at the end of the season, I would have welcomed it. I feel like this is a knee-jerk reaction with Darts being hurt. But in the end, I think the onus and overall firing should be on the defensive coordinator.
Well, it is strange that he held on to Bowen, and now he didn't hold on to his own job. So that is a little odd, and maybe that will be addressed as the week goes on. They play the Packers this weekend, so that's probably not a good way for Mike Kafka to make his debut as the Giant head coach, interim head coach. Let's bring in our good friend, Jordan Ronan, who covers the Giants for us here at ESPN. And Jordan, does this come as a surprise to you at all?
Not necessarily. I thought there was a decent shot once. I mean, I said it on Friday on the air with Rick and Dave. The scenario where he could get fired in season was if the quarterback gets injured. And not only did you get the quarterback injured, but then you get yourself blowing another huge lead on the road in demoralizing fashion. So, this was the scenario where they got to make a change in the middle of the season. And here we are.
So what does this do,
He went
though?
11-33 in his last 44 games. That's 25% winning percentage.
But what does this do firing a guy at 10 games? I mean, they're not going to win anything this year. So what exactly are they doing? They trying to protect Dart because they think Dart got hurt because of Daboll?
I think it's more, hey, we can give Mike Kafka a shot here. Let's see what he can do. He's a guy who's drawn a lot of interest around the league as a head coach. See what he could do. Get a different voice because obviously, what Brian Daboll has been saying hasn't really been resonating. And on top of that, they're just making mistakes in games that are costing them. So I don't know if it has just the way he operates. I think the way they operated, it was flawed, and everybody knew it around there. Like, Michael, the guy has been tested for a concussion 4 times already this season. Mm-hmm. And yet they were publicly and privately saying, no, we want you to still play with that. That was their message to him. Like, you think that's the right message? 4 times. That's not normal to get tested for a concussion 4 times. The idea is this is a different league. You have to approach it differently. You can't take the same hits. You can't be like, no, we don't want to take away his aggressiveness. It's okay to lower your head against linebackers on the sideline when you're looking, to gain an extra 2 yards near midfield. That's eventually going to get you injured, and you're going to take big hits. And what happened? Eventually, it got him injured, and he took a big hit.
It is interesting, though, because I was going to discuss this before, the news broke that he was fired, that, you see Dart saying things, well, they can't take my aggressive, that's just the way I play. Well, no, that's the wrong way to play. But you're telling me that Daboll actually was okay with it?
Yeah, like that's what that's what he preached to him. He's like, we don't want to take it away from him. Now, maybe they told him, like, the one play against Philadelphia when he dove headfirst into the guy, we don't want that.
Right.
But they weren't, like, super against it. That's not what they weren't drilling him into, hey, it's okay to run out of bounds at times. Like, no, they were saying, well, this is who he is. We want to bottle this. We like this. We like this. Jackson Dart's dad was responding to tweets recently, basically saying, no, this is a winning mentality. We don't want to. Everyone else should want to have a winning mentality. No, in this league, you cannot do that, and it needs to be reiterated, and it needs to be the message, right? Lamar Jackson runs the ball a lot. It's not about design runs or running the ball a lot. No, it's about you can't enable him and allow him to take big hits, because eventually, if you take big hits in this league, these aren't cornerbacks in the SEC. These are all NFL players. You're going to get hurt. He took so many big hits, or 4 concussion tests. I mean, that says it all.
All right, so does Joe Schoen keep his job?
For now, he does, for sure. I mean, Joe Schoen's still the general manager, and I think there's a path for Joe Schoen to be back next year. The natural argument is, hey, look, we have a more talented team than talking talent-wise, than the 3-14 record said last year. We have a more talented team in regards to roster than 2-8 indicates. And, I guess down the stretch here, if Mike Kafka can win some games with this team, it'll just reiterate the argument for Joe Schoen in the front office is, hey, we have actually some good players here. We just weren't getting the best out of them, and it was on the coaching. You heard this. I heard this dating back to last year, that the coaching staff was saying, hey, we don't have the talent. And the front office was saying, hey, we have enough talent where we should be better than we are. And it was sort of, the Superman, the Spider-Man meme where they're both, like, pointing back at each other.
Right.
Like, that's kind of the impression that I got of what was going on behind the scenes, probably now for close to the past year.
But I've always been under the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, we're talking with Jordan Ron on here on the Michael K. Show, Schoen and Daboll were tied together at the hip. I mean, who hired Daboll? It was Schoen.
Yeah, I think that there was a point last year where that ended.
Really?
And that relationship isn't what it used to be. Yeah. That's my interpretation of the situation. Yeah, from talking to people over the past year, is that sort of that kind of cooled off their relationship, because, like I said, Joe Schoen's basically, and then the front office are sitting there saying, we have talent. And then Brian Daboll said, well, you're blaming it on me? Look at the roster we have. This isn't good enough.
Now, you've been around forever covering this team. You've seen it all. You've seen the previous administration. Do you think that Joe Schoen has done a good job in drafting? I mean, Evan Neal's on his ledger. I mean, I don't think there have been tremendous drafts by Joe Schoen. Do you?
No, I mean, the 2022 draft with Evan Neal might actually be the best draft he has, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like Kayvon Thibodeau, at least, is a quality player. He's not a superstar. Micah McFadden was a good pick in that draft. Like, Dane Belton's a quality mid-round guy. He's at least a contributor. Like, they've got guys in those drafts. Like, the next year, it was a total disaster, 2023. 2024 looked great last year, and they touted that. And this is the big part, in my opinion, of the Giants' problem, is over-evaluating their own talent. They told us how great that draft was. How great does it look right now? It's like Tyrone Tracy. Obviously Malik Neighbors is a great player, but Tyrone Tracy and Theo Johnson and Tyler Nubin. Like, I don't know if that stands out to you, Michael, but yeah, in retrospect, you're like, there's another one. So you're right. And then the results speak for themselves. He built a 3-14 team last year, and right now they're 2-8 for the third straight year. And Joe Schoen's responsible for the rosters of those teams. So, yes, has he done a good enough job? The answer is obviously no. I mean, and I think he would admit that right now.
Now, before you came on, I was mentioning this, Jordan. I wonder if this looked weird to you. The last couple of weeks, we see this series of stories in the New York Post where he has given Paul Schwartz his unlimited access to look behind the scenes. That's not done in the NFL. I think Schoen was in survival mode right away. Why would he have done that? I've never seen a GM do that. Here, look behind the scenes on how we do things. Did that strike you as odd?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just seems like, hey, they're sort of making their case publicly, right? Here's the people we have. Here's the people we have behind the scenes. Here's what we're doing. Here's our process. Like all these things. Like I said, I mean, when I talk to people, I think I really started hearing about it around the draft. There's a lot of the Giants front office and coaches are going around the country and they're going to all these schools and they're talking to people at all these schools. There was a real separation, and you saw that even last year, by the way, when John Mara came out and spoke at the end of the season. It almost came out like we almost fired Brian Daboll, not Joe Schoen. We almost fired Brian Daboll,
right?
And he was the one that kind of got saved there at the end of last year. And so you knew at that point, at least I kind of realized at that point, well, you know what? And John actually said this. We were asked he was asked if they were grouped together, and he said, no, they do different jobs. And at that point, you're like, well, you know what? And now you're seeing, everyone in survival mode this year, right? Especially when things start going poorly, like, how do we survive this? And Joe Schoen looks like the survivor, at least for now. And by the way, I think Joe Schoen has a chance to survive moving forward.
All right. So in closing, you're saying that Koff is going to get a shot right now to see what he can do. Hope it's better than what the Jets did with their assistant that they made an interim last year. Ulbrich couldn't coach at all.
Ulbrich, by the way, who's coaching good defense, by the way, right now in Atlanta, but just wasn't a head coach.
Well, some people are good coordinators and some people are bad head coaches. Anyway, if it's not Kafka, give me a list. Do we have Mike McCarthy on that list? Do we have Bill Belichick on that list? Well, what would be some of the people that might get this job?
Yeah, I think Antonio Pierce is the guy whose name you're going to hear in this mix. Jesse Minter, who's the defensive coordinator for John Harbaugh in Los Angeles with the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy I would keep an eye on. I'm not sure about the big names. Bill Belichick's an interesting one. Can you see Bill Belichick coming with his girlfriend and roaming the sidelines for the New York Giants? I don't know. I just have a little problem.
Right.
Like imagining that. I think he'll probably back channel. So it'll be interesting to see if they do at least talk to him. I wouldn't be surprised if they at least talk to him. So those are kind of the names that stand out to me first and foremost as we sit here right now.
All right, as you sit there, what's the Giant plan right now? Who's going to speak about this? Is it going to be Shane? Is it going to be the owners? Who's going to come out and make a comment?
Yeah, I don't know if we hear from anybody immediately. I think we might get like a statement. It's an interesting time for the Giants because John Mara is obviously sick, right? He's not going to come out and speak right now. He's not even going to road games, Michael. And John Mara always went to every game, right? Chris Mara's been around more. Steve Tisch hasn't talked in I don't know how many years, right? I think it's like 4 or 5 years. The last time he talked, last time he talked was maybe when Pat Shurmur was hired or Joe Judge, one of those. So it's been a while. So maybe the next time we hear from someone might be Mike Kafka on Wednesday.
Interesting. Really fascinating stuff. Thanks, Jordan. I know you're busy. I appreciate you popping on.
You got it anytime, Michael.
All right. So Jordan threw some names out there. Minter with the Chargers. Pierce, who did not have a good run with the Raiders. That's kind of surprising. Again, but you're mentioning two defensive guys. Do you want to bring in a defensive guy when you have to make the quarterback as good as he could be? Interesting. And would you go with a 72-year-old Belichick who now has some baggage? It hasn't gone well, especially offensively in North Carolina. The defense isn't bad. Offensively, it's been awful. And then, the matter of the girlfriend who always seems to be around, although Mara has always had a great affinity for Belichick. Mike McCarthy's out there. Do they go the offensive guru route? If Stefanski gets fired in Cleveland, would they think about that? But they fired their coach early now, so they could start looking. Is it going to be Kafka? We shall see. Hey, if he could put up 3 wins in the last, 7 games, maybe he's got a chance. But 2-8 gets Brian Daboll fired. All right, we're going to talk to Steve Young about this when we get back. He always joins us on Monday. Perfect time to talk to him about what went wrong with Brian Daboll. It's the K Show going till 3 right here on ESPN New York.
The Giants have fired head coach Brian Daboll.
He's out. Brian Daboll's been fired by the Giants, according to Adam Schefter.
You know, I think that we kind of had a sense that this was possible. We knew this was coming. It is just Brian Daboll who's been dismissed. That is the only one.
Offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will serve as the interim head coach.
The biggest thing this team can do is make sure it's protecting its quarterback. We've got a quarterback that has been evaluated for 4 concussions. We've got a team that has blown double-digit leads in 4 different road games.
Keep it on ESPN New York as the story continues to develop.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Shorter days don't have to be so dismal. It's time to reach out and check in with those you care about, and to remind ourselves that we're not alone. As seasons change and days grow darker sooner, it can be a tough time for many. This November, BetterHelp's encouraging everyone to reach out, check in on friends, reconnect with loved ones, and remind the people in your life that you're there. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. Short questionnaire helps you identify your needs and preferences, and our 12-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means we typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from our tailored recommendations. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month. Just call pound 250 and say the keyword timeout. That's keyword timeout after calling pound 250.
The Hess truck's back and it's better than ever. Roaring engines this year. Hess race cars are here.
The Hess stock car racers are loaded with lights, sounds, and a powerful racing motor. Only at HessToyTruck.com. Free shipping and batteries included.
At the 5-yard line, handoff Breece Hall, finds a crease, runs left, he's into the end zone for a Jet touchdown. Jets fans, clear the runway and be at MetLife Stadium for Week 13 as your New York Jets take on the Atlanta Falcons. Sunday, November 30th at 1 p.m., presented by New Jersey Lottery. Join us as we celebrate First Responders Day. Don't miss your chance to be at the game. Lock in your seats now at nyjets.com/tickets. Once again, that's nyjets.com/tickets.
1877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has all the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats right at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy teams synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Well, just before we came on the air, Adam Schefter reporting that Brian Daboll has been relieved of his duties as the Giant head coach in his almost 4 years at the helm. Giants are 20-40-1. His first year is 9-7-1. So since then, he's 11-33, and he ends up being the scapegoat right now for what's happened with the Giants over all of these 4 years. Now we'll bring in a guy who knows this better than us, and that's the Hall of Famer Steve Young. He joins us on this Monday, as he always does. Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Hey, Michael.
So from what you see from the outside looking in, do you think that Daboll was not doing a good job?
I mean, look, the famous quote about your record is who you are, so I think, let's step back. To me, when Brian Daboll came on, the Giants were a mess. They'd lost their way, I think, organizationally, who they were, their identity, the things that made the Giants, kept them have a sense of purpose and clarity. And I mean, the Giants were a mess. And so he came in, and what I thought he was good at was to kind of take a team that was 2-8, which we are now, and put some more rigor in and function and discipline, and I think that right away that happened, which I was like, wow, but I never felt like he was an innovative mind that could compete at the highest level with Kyle and Sean McVay and Sean Payton and Andy Reid and the guys that are sitting in the Super Bowl every year. And that's not a cut. It's just that it's more old school. It's more Jim Harbaugh, right? It's more the way they look at the world. And I just feel like the game changed significantly in the last 10 years. And I don't know that he was the one that, even look at how he's using Jackson Dart. It wasn't trying to make Jackson's job easier. It was really kind of what he did with Josh is like, look, I got a mobile quarterback. I'm just going to do whatever I can to try to score some points, which I understand. But I just so appreciate, like yesterday's game against the 49ers and Rams, you watch the offensive innovation reinvented over and over and over again over the years. Then in the game yesterday, like, wow, that's some cool stuff. That really makes the quarterback's job easier. You got Mac Jones, 31 of 39. Do you think Mac Jones is 31 of 39 with the Giants? No. And so I think in the end, it's a quarterback-driven league. He's an offensive coordinator. He's not winning. They're not as organized as what I thought he was going to come in and do anyway. And now the quarterback that he wanted and tried to develop is hurt. It's just it's just one thing after another that aren't going to get the Giants to where they want to be.
So maybe this is a hard question to answer. Did Josh Allen make him rather than the other way around?
Well, yeah, Josh Allen had to be Superman, right? And I always felt like they weren't giving Josh Allen the help that he needed to be, to be in the Super Bowl, and the running game and offensive line, and the great players still need lots of help. Patrick Mahomes gets a lot of that help. I mean, and so I feel like the Bills have worked hard to give him the weapons, to get a running game, to take the pressure off so he doesn't have to be Superman every time out. So, look, I'm not going to get into who made who, because that's just kind of a weird thing to kind of binary. Like, it's always parts of both.
Right.
And I think it was an important part of it. But I never felt like the Bills' offense was, again, I got to go. I mean, look, I'm biased because I've watched the innovative minds, and I'm going to put the four of them that started this with Sean Payton, Andy Reid, Sean McVay, and Kyle Shanahan. Then watch their coaching tree as they share everything they know and give it to their head coach in the spirit of Bill Walsh. And then look what that's happened in the league, and where have those guys come from? Where are they coaching today, and what's the innovation that they're bringing to the game? And that's the league today. So that's just my bias. And so if you're outside of that clear revolution, you're gonna fight uphill.
All right, so you've been in the game a long time. Do you look at somebody, Steve, and go, good coordinator, doesn't have what it means to be a head coach? Are there such people?
No, yeah, of course there are. There's tons of people like that. There are phenomenal offensive coordinators, and they're not head coaches. That's common. That's actually more likely than not. So it's not. But I don't think that. I thought Brian was really organized and had a really clear picture, and I thought he brought stability when he showed up, and I always thought that was a part of his game. Clearly, the results haven't happened, but I don't think that changes who he is. I think he can still come in and organize people and get people, kind of simplify things. He did with Daniel Jones. He kind of said, look, let's simplify stuff. Let's not get over our skis. Let's try to keep it very basic. And that really energized Daniel for a brief time. And so I think that's what he's capable of. And I don't think that's going to go away. I don't think he can't, as a general manager of the offense, I think he can come in and get people running good plays. But I just don't. To me, the game is so obviously being run by the innovative minds, and then their tree. It's just you're kind of on the outside looking in.
All right, let's do a deep dive, and you're a really good person to ask this. So Jackson Dart left yesterday's game with a concussion. Steve, 4 times in 7 professional games going back to the preseason, he has visited the concussion tent. And we had on Jordan Ronan, who covers the Giants for ESPN, and he said that Daboll was all about letting him be him, letting him be aggressive and stuff like that, and running the ball. Is there a happy medium there where you've got to guard against something that makes a guy special and just kind of like winnow it down? Because you ran a lot. You suffered concussions as well. So was that the wrong tack to take with this kid?
So it's okay, fundamentals. Let's look at where the game is today. Look what Justin Herbert did yesterday in big moments against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have to threaten the line of scrimmage. And that doesn't mean you have to run it all the time, but it has to be as part of your arsenal. It's the game today. It's too many free yards, free first downs, and even touchdowns out there for quarterbacks to go get. So if you don't have that capability, then you can't really win Super Bowls in today's game. If you do have that capability, which Jackson has, obviously, then that's a part of how you get through the learning, kind of phase. When you're trying to learn the sophisticated game, you're trying to get to the speed of the NFL. Your legs are that's the thing that helps you solve the problems as a young player. So it becomes a function of the coach and how he wants to think about it, and the player too. Jackson has to be he has to grow up fast here. He has to understand that, it's not college anymore. And yes, you want to be the guy that shows the team that you'll do anything, like Josh Allen did for years with the Superman cape. But it's got to be super smart. And I've always believed, look, I used to have concussions, like I played for 18 seasons. Most of the time, I believed you could get yourself out of trouble. You could still attack the line of scrimmage. You could still put the pressure on defenses and not put yourself at incredible amounts of risk. Now, that's easy to say, hard to do, but I think I put it on both of them. Now that Brian's been fired, I'm like, he screwed it up. No, it's like the two of them have to figure. And look, he showed up on campus 5 months ago. He started playing 6 weeks ago. And they got to move the ball. Coach is under pressure. Jackson wants to, I do agree with, hey, you got to be yourself and you got to attack the line of scrimmage. I really fundamentally believe that's how but you have to be a sophisticated passer as well. So you have to develop that. Justin Fields is trying to figure that out. Name them. They're all trying to figure out how to do both. And so I'm not going to, look, it's easy to blame Brian today, but that's not my thing. I think it's both of them. And Jackson going forward is going to have to figure out how to move the football with what the skills that he has and not put himself at, outsized risk. And I'm sure the people on the street are like, Steve, the game is violent. He's going to get hurt. I get it. But there are ways to protect yourself.
Does 4 times in that 10 and 7 games even alarm you?
Yeah. Not alarm. Look, I think that we're getting smarter. We understand head injuries more. It's still a black box for medicine in general. Like, and it, even with all the concern and care that the league has made, it's still, a doctor on the sideline. How you feel? Who's the president? It's like it's more focused, but it's not like there's like tons of more sophistication. That's why I've always thought there needs to be an objective test on the sidelines. College has it, where you put the eye goggles on, they can track your eyes, and they know immediately whether you're concussed or not, and that way you're in or out. The league's been afraid to do that, but I think that's the answer, so that you don't go to the 10 and then tell the doctor, he knows who the president is, he knows how to count backwards, he feels pretty good, okay, let's go. It's alarming in that he's putting himself in spots that you can't keep doing. Because you can't go to the blue tent over and over and over again. That's just alarming. How do I put it? Yeah, let's go with alarming right now, and just make sure that let's figure out ways to get him out of the blue tent.
All right. So is it concerning then that he suffered this injury and then came out and played two more plays in the fourth quarter before anybody noticed? I mean, I thought there was supposed to be a real attention to detail on this. He played 2 plays before Daboll said, you know what, something's wrong with this kid. Let's take a look. 2 plays they let him play, Steve.
Well, I just said it, right? It's still a black box, and it's still not something that, you put a neurologist on the sidelines. I've seen neurologists, and they ask you the same question that, any doctor, any parent a smart parent would say, like, how you feel and what is it? And so it's just, again, I'll fight for objective testing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's scary for coaches and players that
Why
you go
is it
in
scary?
and there's an objective, because then you're in or out. You can't. There's no fudge factor. There's no. Hey, I actually feel pretty good. Okay. Thank you for my advocate. You should be my advocate. Help me out. Like I'm with you 1,000%. Like and I really my case is that it actually helps people get back. Because if, how are you feeling? Well, we'll test it, and we'll know you're feeling better.
Right.
And so we can put you back. Or there are a lot of times, and this is from medicine, and I've learned this, there's a lot of times when you present as a concussion, but it's actually a neck injury. It's not the brain, it's the neck. And so that sifts that out as well. In other words, somebody has concussion symptoms, but it's actually their neck. And in that way, you can go in and take the test, and be fine, and look, it's a neck injury, and so now you have to manage it as a neck injury. That's completely different.
Would you, if you were the Giants, Steve, would you consider a guy like Mike McCarthy, or is that not the right tack to take for the next coach here?
I think it's just to me, it's just the same thing. Like, again, I'll say myself as biased, but I think I'm right, and I think I've been proven by. Like, even Liam down in the Jaguars, they've made some mistakes, but they're in the mix because they have an offensive, thoughtful, innovative mind. The Packers, the Vikings, they go around the league. Right. You've got to find a young, and you can complain about Mike McDaniel all you want, but offensively they are in the mix. And if they get the right people, and you just know that there's way, to me, you've got to find that person, and you can't. I just don't want to go back to 2014. I want to go to 2027. And I think you have to capitulate to the fact that those 4 guys that saw the rule changes in 2017 for defenses couldn't launch anymore realize there's more room in the field that's more college-like, and the innovative minds, and then everyone that's been with them has now been successful in the league, and they've infiltrated most places in the league. Like that's the truth. And I there's people that are still successful outside of that tree. I get that, but that's the future. An innovative mind who can compete offensively, can help the quarterback's job be easier, and then support them with great defensive coordinator, a great organizational person who is can make sure that you handle the clock and all the rest of it. But you've got to have that young, innovative mind. And when I say young, innovative mind, I say Andy Reid's a young, innovative mind.
Right.
Because Andy Reid continues to reinvent himself every week. he's very open to the next thing, never settling, never always come up with something interesting. And as much as Patrick Mahomes carries that team, Andy Reid carries that team, and that's a fact. And so, like, get on board and find somebody that can bring that to Jackson Dart and make Jackson Dart's job as easy as possible. So then he isn't running all over the place crazy. It's like it's all tactical and useful and productive. And so that's my. And then if you go with another defensive coordinator, which I've seen happen, I'm like, yeah, there's examples of defensive coordinators in the 2020s doing it, but this is the game. The league is continually trying to make it harder on defenses, and I think great defensive minds are needed. But where the game is out in front in offense, and go find somebody that's going to lead that way. And I don't know. I'm just going to go over and over again. I'll be like a broken record. But yeah, no. Back to your Mike McCarthy. No.
Okay, so before I let you go, I wanted to talk to you about this before Daboll got fired. Stafford's 37 years old, Steve. Last 6 games, 20 TDs, no interceptions. For the season, 25 TDs, 4 interceptions. He has an innovative mind as his head coach in Sean McVay. Is he even stunning you? You've been telling me for years, if you still have your arm, doesn't matter how old you are because the game is for the offense, but is Stafford lighting it up for you?
It makes my case.
Yep.
Matthew Stafford is a great player. He was mired in Detroit. Despite being in Detroit during those years, he actually found ways to flourish, and he just needed to be unlocked. And they got with an offensive, innovative mind. And remember, Matthew learned the game before the rule changes. So he's used to a more sophisticated game. So he takes advantage of it. That's why, look at Tom Brady and, Aaron Rodgers and everyone else, Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, and like anyone that learned the game pre-rule changes in a more sophisticated era realized, I need to stick around. I just need my arm to stay healthy. And Drew Brees couldn't do that. Peyton Manning couldn't do that. Tom finally just said, okay, I've had, I can keep abusing the league because I've been around, But Matthew Stafford has the same thing. And so he's got an innovative mind, and they're making that amazing music together. And that makes my case for you. You can take an older guy and do it, or you can take a young, great, talent and open up his ability, or find somebody. Look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was dead on the street, run over, and gets to San Francisco with one of those minds and opens. He's like, oh my gosh, this is how you play. This is how a game is. Oh my, I can do this. This is great. And then what does he do? He takes that and goes to Minnesota. I think Minnesota will be proven to be a huge mistake to let him go, because he's a great player, and if he's on with the right place, he's going to flourish. So what does he do? He goes to a place that's figured out how to do that in Seattle, and now what is he doing? He's flourishing. And so I don't know. Maybe it's not obvious to everybody, but it is absolutely so obvious to me that, the Giants have an opportunity to jump on board, and let's do it right.
Good stuff, Steve. Thanks so much, man.
Okay. See you, Michael.
Got it. That's Steve Young. Interesting stuff from him. Really interesting. We'll break it down even more here from you as well. FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% PBT. That's right. You can get in on the action with a 30% PBT tonight during the Eagles-Packers game. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/K to bet on the game. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Whether you're shopping, gaming, or streaming this Black Friday season, don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber for the fastest, most reliable, and most consistent internet speeds, starting at $25 a month. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com to switch. Act now and get a full year of Netflix, an unlimited mobile line, a $400 prepaid card, and more, all on us. Call 888-4-OPTIMUM or visit Optimum.com today. Optimum, don't take slow for an answer. Terms apply. See Optimum.com for details.
For over 100 years, Slomin's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, we deliver more than just quality fuel. We deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, 24/7 service, and up to 30 days to pay your invoice. Our dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Slomin's, New York and New Jersey's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving our community for generations. Give us a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomins.com.
This holiday season, Target has your back with irresistibly cool gifts for everyone on your list. For the trendsetter, start with affordable beauty kits and gift sets. Need something the whole fam will love? Grab snuggly matching fits in every size and style. And for the thrill seekers, don't forget the hottest toys and tech of the season. Target's got you covered with the best deals for endless fun. Shop in store or online. And step into the holidays with Target. Restrictions apply.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No!
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
NBA fans, the race for the Emirates NBA Cup is on.
Let the games begin.
30 teams will start, but only 8 will advance.
Oh, he puts it in!
And only one champion will capture the cup.
Let's go!
To finish first, they'll have to put the pedal to the metal. Who will capture the cup? Well, let's see what happens on the court.
Basketball is back!
Emirates NBA Cup Group Play continues every Friday on Prime.
Ah, yes, game time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 7 p.m., Rangers host the Predators at Madison Square Garden. They have been terrible at home. It's unbelievable. They're 0-6-1 at Madison Square Garden. They're the first NFL team to start out, be shut out in 5 of the first 7 home games. Unbelievable. So coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN New York. And at 7 p.m., the Devils host the Islanders at the Prudential Center. Don LaGreca will be on the call on the MSG family of networks. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew. Try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glass up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. So there was one thing when I combined the two guests that we had on that concerns me. So I asked Jordan Ron on, some candidates that might be considered by the Giants to take over next year as the head coach. And the first guy out of his mouth was Antonio Pierce. And first of all, he didn't do well in Las Vegas. And he's a defensive guy. And then you just heard Steve Young say, you got to bring in an innovative offensive mind. And you see the Jets, they bring in a defensive mind. Then Aaron Glenn. And you see their quarterback has been absolutely hard, although they won a game yesterday. Because you know what? The offense of the Browns is even more hard. Dylan Gabriel was even more hard. But why would you think about bringing in a defensive coach? Bring in a young defensive mind as your defensive coordinator. Don't bring in a defensive coach as your head coach. Doesn't that set back Jackson Dart? That's the one thing that you have. So next year, you're going to have an offense with Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, and Malik Neighbors. And you want to bring in a defensive coach whose first priority is going to be ground and pound the ball like what Aaron Glenn wants. And you're going to take away the things that make those three guys great. Makes no sense to me to do that. They should be searching far and wide for a bright offensive mind. Now, they thought they had that with Brian Daboll, but you just heard Steve Young say he thought Brian Daboll was pretty good at organizing things, but he didn't think he was an offensive innovator. And if you did watch the 49ers against the Rams, and the Rams put so many points on the board against a really smart defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh, but the offensive sets that they run, the movement before snap, we don't see any of that in New York for either team ever. And as much as, we trumpeted Brian Daboll as an offensive guru, is there anything that they did in the 4 years that he was here that you said, wow, that's different. Wow, that's innovative. Wow, that's a funky look. No, nothing. Nothing. Now, maybe he'll say I didn't have the offensive line for it. They had 4 years to put together this team. To put together this team that the head coach would like it. But as Jordan Raanan said, somewhere in the middle of last year, the two sides started to clash, where Brian Daboll was saying, we don't have enough talent. And Joe Shane's going, I think we do have talent. So you knew there was going to be a divorce. So you wonder who pulled the trigger on this. Was it Shane firing his buddy from Buffalo? Or was it Mara and Tisch who said enough is enough? I mean, when you consider how close they were to be a contending team by beating the Broncos, just finishing the Bronco game. Again, the 3 games that will hang over Daboll's head forever. Cowboys, Broncos, and the Bears yesterday. If they win those 3 games, they're 5-5. And we might be talking about an extension for Brian Daboll. Instead, he's out of work. He's out of a job. Mike Kafka takes over. What's next for the Giants? Please, please, please don't let it be a defensive coordinator who gets this job or a defensive-minded guy. Don't do it. And that would also eliminate Bill Belichick as well. Because take a look at North Carolina right now. Their defense has progressively gotten better. Their offense is stagnant. And the only thing that has made his offense great in New England was Tom Brady. Look what he did with Mac Jones. Nothing. Mac Jones has had an unbelievable game yesterday. And there's actually talk, well, what do we do? Do we bring Purdy back or do we keep Mac Jones in there? Mac Jones didn't do any of that. Now, Bill Belichick had a really bright offensive mind, and Josh McDaniels was back this year, and the Patriots are winning, and they won a big game yesterday against the Buccaneers. Offense, offense, offense. The whole league is built around offense. That's how they should go. We'll take a brief timeout. We got Scott Van Pelt coming up to talk about the Giants' decision, also preview Monday Night Football. It's all happening. We go till 3 right here on the Michael Kay Show on ESPN New York.
The Giants have fired head coach Brian Daboll.
He's out. Brian Daboll's been fired by the Giants, according to Adam Schefter.
I think that we kind of had a sense that this was possible. We knew this was coming. It is just Brian Daboll who has been dismissed. That is the only one.
Offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will serve as the interim head coach.
The biggest thing this team can do is make sure it's protecting its quarterback. We've got a quarterback that has been evaluated for 4 concussions. We've got a team that has blown double-digit leads in 4 different road games.
Keep it on ESPN New York as the story continues to develop.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Shorter days don't have to be so dismal. It's time to reach out and check in with those you care about, and to remind ourselves that we're not alone. As seasons change and days grow darker sooner, it can be a tough time for many. This November, BetterHelp's encouraging everyone to reach out, check in on friends, reconnect with loved ones, and Remind the people in your life that you're there. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. Short questionnaire helps you identify your needs and preferences, and our 12-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means we typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from our tailored recommendations. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month. Just call pound 250 and say the keyword timeout. That's keyword timeout after calling pound 250.
Palmieri to the net. Score!
The New York Islanders are back in action with a brand new theme night schedule you won't want to miss. Bring your friends out for the holidays and take home a custom holiday replica jersey, or arrive early for special bobblehead giveaway nights for Matt Barzal and Bo Horvat.
Barzal for Horvat. Score!
Explore the full theme night schedule at NewYorkIslanders.com.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Dave Rothenberg here to tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. Now, they converted my kid's bathtub to a shower and did an incredible, really an unbelievable job. They offer all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit done in just one day. Durable and easy to clean with no demo or mess and lower cost than a standard replacement. And a lifetime guarantee. Right now, no money down, no payments, no interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today like we did at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bathfitter.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Well, the big news today happened just before we came on the air, broken by our very own Adam Schefter, that Brian Daboll has been fired as the head coach of the Giants in his 4th season at the helm. His overall record 20-40-1. And after you take out the 9-7-1 first year where he won a playoff game against the Vikings and then got slapped around in the second playoff game by the Eagles, he has gone 11-33 since. His record in the 3+ years his winning percentage is .336, and that's behind such luminaries as Ben McAdoo and Ray Handley. Ray Perkins, not Ray Handley. Ray Handley's worse. But I don't know if he's totally at fault with this. That's my issue with it all. Is it him? Anybody who wants Joe Shane to stay, you're going to say all the good people that Shane picked and brought aboard. Well, look at Cam Scatterbo. Look, he got Dart. Well, he also got Evan Neal. There are a lot of bad picks, too. I mean, was there anything that really made you change your mind about the Giants making a turn? The Giants are only the second team since the 70s to have lost 2 games where they led by at least 10 points with under 4 minutes remaining. The other one was the 2004 Seahawks. They weren't able to close. Their defense was not good. But the defensive coordinator remains. Shane Bowen remains. And Mike Kafka, the offensive coordinator, who was a finalist for a couple of jobs over the last 2 years in the NFL, is going to get first try over the final 7 games of the season. This is the 3rd straight year that the Giants have started a season 2-8. It's really hard to believe. It's really hard to believe. All right, let's go to the phones and see what you're thinking. Let's go to Rico in Buffalo. Rico.
Michael, how are you, buddy?
Good. How are you doing, Rico?
I'm doing fabulous. Well, not really after yesterday's game, but the Giants did the right thing. Brian Daboll is not a great coach. He's not a great offensive mind. When he was in Buffalo, he had Superman. Superman made him, period. Buffalo fans couldn't wait to get rid of Brian Daboll. I think the Giants is the best thing they could do. Now, this kid Dart, I like him. He plays a Josh Allen style of football. He's not afraid to engage, and that's what you need. You know, I love Steve Young. Steve Young was that type of quarterback. So Giants fans, don't be upset. This is the best thing that could have happened to your football.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you why they could be upset, though, Rico. I'll tell you why. Because every coach they fire, they bring in somebody else and he fails. Since Coughlin, take a look at what they've done. I mean, do you have any real good feeling about, they're going to pick the right guy this time? I mean, when I hear Jordan Ronan, who's in the know, say that they'll be interested in Antonio Pierce, I go, no knock on Antonio Pierce. That's the guy you're going to turn to? That guy. That's the guy who's going to turn things around. Go out and find your own Sean McVay. Your Kyle Shanahan. Do you realize both of those guys are on the Washington staff? They're out there. You have to find them. Sean Payton was out there waiting to be hired. Denver is the one who did it. Cohen down in Jacksonville. Steichen in Indianapolis. There are people like that. Be innovative and find somebody innovative. Do it. Let's go to Sam in Cleveland. Sam.
Hello, Michael. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing all right over here. Let's see. So just wanted to go back to a comment you made kind of opening up the show about, potential head coach routes that the Giants could go. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I heard you put in the same sentence offensive guru and Kevin Stefanski if he becomes available. So I'm here, somebody who lives here, to say that is a terrible idea. He has the worst offense 2 years in a row. He's a bum. It's anemic. And it's not what the Giants need. His offense is old. It's bad. It's predictable. He's been called out on it by Vrabel a couple of weeks ago when he said that once their gimmick plays ran out, our defense got pretty good. And that's exactly what happened. He's good on script.
All right, but let me ask you, Sam, since you're there. I mean, he hasn't a good quarterback, has he?
No, but also look at this. If you want to talk about offensive gurus, look at the true offensive guru head coaches, in my opinion, in this league are the ones that can take crap and make it good. Did anybody think Mac Jones was great until he got paired up in San Francisco?
Excellent point. And you know what?
Like those
the
are Green
real
Bay,
smart offensive minds could take a Daniel Jones and make him an effective player. Could take a Sam Darnold and make him an effective player. You're right. I'm just throwing names out there because Stefanski is looked at as a guy who's a smart offensive mind. I think he was saddled with the Deshaun Watson stuff. I don't know how much of that he had to do with. That was an awful trade. Awful. And then, retreads, and he's trying to make Dylan Gabriel something. They looked awful yesterday. I'm not even going to try to put lipstick on a pig. They were dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Let's go to Ethan in Chicago. Ethan.
Hey, Michael. First time, long time. How are you?
Welcome aboard, my friend. How you doing?
Good, thanks. I've got a fun fact I want to share with you, but first let me set the scene for you from yesterday. I'm a native New Yorker, big Giants fan, lived in Chicago for a year and a half, and yesterday was my first Bears game. Total Chicago experience, cold, windy, light snow. And in the fourth quarter, when the Giants were up 10 by about halfway through, the Bears fans who were sitting near me had their hands on their heads and they were shaking their heads saying, this is bad, this is bad. And I said, just wait. I've seen this movie before. This is far from over. Sure enough, the Bears score. Russell Wilson has to get brought into the game because Dart is hurt. And I just knew they were going to lose the game. Sure enough, they did. The Dart injury was the nail in the coffin. But the fun fact I wanted to share with you was this. As a native New Yorker, I actually have never been to a Giants home game at neither Giants Stadium nor MetLife. I've only ever been to 2 Giants games in my lifetime. Before Chicago, I lived in Nashville for 5 years. And my first Giants game was in 2022 when they beat the Titans in Week 1 after Daboll went for the 2-point conversion and was successful. So my 2 games I've seen live for the Giants are Daboll's first game and last game as head coach. You can't make it up.
No, you can't make it up. And it seems like he also lost his way in going for 2 and going for it and going on 4th down, and that's why he lost his job. Let's bring in our good buddy, Scott Van Pelt. 6 p.m., he's part of Monday Night Countdown. Not part of it. He's the guy who runs it. 8:15, we have the Eagles and the Packers on ESPN and ABC 7. And then after the game, 11:30 p.m. Sports Center with the aforementioned Scott Van Pelt. And Scott joins us now. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
I'm great. Lambeau, cold. It's great. Have you been here ever?
Yes.
It's so good. It's
tremendous.
Such a cool,
everybody should go there once.
Exactly. If you're a fan of sports, it's just worth seeing. Anyway, it's we'll see you for that. I know you guys got a ton going on in your city.
All right, tell me your thoughts on what went on with the Giants firing Daboll.
I get it. I mean, the losses have accumulated. They've been incredibly frustrating. I think I've mentioned this to you in the past, Michael, when I've been on, that, having gone to Maryland, so many of my buddies in the text thread are Giant fans. And they're Dart fans, and they're excited about, hoping he's the guy. And there's such frustration in this year. I'll be honest, they haven't been pining away screaming for him. They want the GM's head more than they want Daboll. But I get it. Someone's got to answer for another lead that evaporates. It's 4 times double digits. The Denver one to me is the most exasperating. Yesterday when Dart goes out in the cold and the snow and Wilson's got to come in. I don't know. I guess it's the final straw, and now there's a huge question of what direction you go. I mean, it's a chance once again to hit an organizational reset. And the one thing that you'll have on your side in New York that other organizations won't is there's still an aura about that franchise. It's the city, it's the Maras, it's the history. And so I think that they'll be able to attract someone great. But they need to kind of assess what direction they want to go entirely as an organization, and this is a chance to hit that button.
It is quite interesting, though, Scott. Attract someone great. They're 0 for their last 4 after Coughlin. It seems like they can't make the right choice. They just can't. And, we had on Jordan Ron on earlier, and he said, one of the first names he said that they will consider is Antonio Pierce. And, no knock on Antonio Pierce, but they don't need a defensive guy. They need an offensive guru, which they thought Daboll was. And it just seems like they're walking in the wilderness trying to pick a coach. It doesn't make sense to me.
I agree, but I think it's much like threading the needle with a quarterback. I think that we've reached a place where more in college, it's a different conversation because of NIL and the portal. Like if you're not good, people will pull the plug immediately. But I think fans, there's so little patience from your fan base, and it just coaches get so little runway to figure things out. That you just keep repeating the cycle over and over again. I'm with you. I'd prefer that side of the ball if I'm them. You want to get that part of it figured out. I don't know, what role did the defense play in helping these leads kind of evaporate as well? I mean, it's. I don't think anybody's blameless here, but it is odd that they haven't been able to kind of find their guy that's the next one. given all the things that seem to be built-in advantages that New York ought to be able to have. They just haven't added up to anything lately.
And I do wonder also, Scott, well, okay, third straight year starting 2-8, that's dreadful, but what's the purpose of firing him now? And especially if he has some kind of rapport with the quarterback. Now you've just ripped that away from Jackson Dart, who also has a concussion. And I guess Mike Kafka was in the hiring cycle the last couple of years. He just missed out on a couple of jobs, so they get an early look at him. But I don't know what it does for you. I mean, even if you win the final 7 games, I guess 9-8 would be pretty good, but I can't see this team going 9-8.
No, I think you hit it though. I think if you believe organizationally that Kafka's a guy that could have it, all right, let's see what it is, right? And I mean, I agree with you. This feels more emotional than anything else. I mean, is this a final straw kind of a scenario? I mean, we lost another lead. I mean, with Dart out in that game, I think there's a pretty obvious thing you can point to. I wonder moving forward, can you keep running the guy as much? I saw a stat, Michael. No one's run more designed runs than any other quarterback, and he didn't even start till week 4. And now this is the 3rd time in 7 games he's been looked at for a concussion. I understand that's part of what makes him dangerous, but it is dangerous to keep doing that. So I wonder when he's healthy enough if that'll be the game plan. But I think you hit on it when you mentioned, giving Kafka a look. Maybe you've got the guy in-house. I root for a Washington team that, my God, they put the graphic up of all the coaches that were here in Washington. It's McVay, it's LaFleur, it's Shanahan, and on and on and on. O'Connell, and there were like 7 head coaches that were here in Washington. Let them all go away and coach other places. Maybe you've got the guy. Maybe he's there. I don't know.
So I didn't pick well yesterday, I'll tell you that, and it's confusing what the league is right now. And you could almost look, Scott, I don't know if you feel this way, and say, is the best team in Seattle? I mean, what's your feel right now?
I like the Rams. I've been on a Rams kick for about a month. I go back to that Philly game where they had the big lead. They let it get away. They had a chance to win the game on a field goal. It got blocked in return for a touchdown. And other than that, they lost the game to San Francisco in overtime where they got stopped on a 4th and 1 because they didn't want to kick a field goal for a tie. I think those two are excellent. Part of it's a byproduct of schedule, but I also don't think either one of those teams has played a bad football game, which in the NFL is hard not to do at some point. Look at Buffalo yesterday. Mm-hmm. I think those two teams might just be the best. Philly fans, I'm sure, listening to this are like, have you missed us? No, I think Philly's right there. But the Rams and Seattle play next week, I guess I should say, in Los Angeles. That'll be a great opportunity for us to see what they are. But I really like the Rams. I think the McVay-Stafford combination it's on an incredible heater right now. It's like 20 touchdowns and no picks in 6 weeks for him. So he's playing at an incredible level. But if Seattle's the right answer, it wouldn't surprise me. They've been fantastic.
You got a great game tonight, Scott. Eagles, Packers.
Yeah,
Packers coming off a bad performance. Eagles seem like they're finding their legs, especially with their quarterback. So how do you look at this one?
The Packers are a team that I can't quite figure because when I don't know where you land with this, but when I think of a team that I really truly believe, all right, November, we get to Thanksgiving, then we get to the holidays and Christmas time when it really, all right, let's see what you got. I don't want to think you're capable of losing to bad football teams. Green Bay this year has lost to Cleveland, and they lost to Carolina, a Carolina team that just got beat at home by the Saints a week later. And I just can't reconcile that. I just don't understand how you're capable of that if you're supposed to be one of the best teams in the league. And Philly, for all the internal turmoil that goes on in the midst of them winning mostly and all this, the receivers want this, and it's like this existential crisis. So I'm like, my God, you're 6-2. Giant fans are thinking, give us that drama, right? I think Philly's excellent. I want to see what Green Bay has in store for a response after what they did last week. Losing at home is basically a 2-touchdown favorite to a team in Carolina that's shown enough bad for me to really wonder how it's possible you did that. So I think Philly's the team that even though they're an underdog, I like them better. But it's a great opportunity for Green Bay to kind of flush last week.
Adam Schefter just tweeting out, Scott, that Giant ownership announced that GM Joe Shane will remain in his position and lead the search for a new head coach. So somehow he deflects the blame on the coach. That's shocking to me. I don't know about you.
No, I was essentially saying that in the beginning. I mean, I figured if it feels like an organizational reset. Yeah. I mean, I would think. I mean, but he's the guy who's Wow, that's really surprising. I would think it would be pretty disappointing from the Giant fan perspective as well, seeing as how a lot of the things that have happened land on his desk, don't they?
And he's the guy who hired the guy. That just wasn't
That's what
good
I'm saying.
enough.
Well, he's the guy, that famous, thing with Saquon, and of course now he's playing for the team we're going to watch tonight, and instead of you guys. So, man,
I'm going to tell you. You asked me at the start, had I ever been to Lambeau? So I was a reporter for the Post, and it was a Monday Night Football game. It was the Packers against the Bears, and the Bears beat the Packers. So in those days, the visiting head coach would actually do the media outside. He talked to the media outside, and we're talking to Ditka, and there's fans cursing at him, up the runway. And he had a roll of quarters, Scott, and he's firing quarters as hard as he could at people's head. It's a different world. You're not going to get that tonight, I don't think.
No, I don't imagine Sirianni's winging change at people in Lambeau. It'd be a hell of a story if it happened, but I can't. It's very different. Like, we're in this very opulent hotel that's directly across the street. They've upgraded it, but it still has the charm of the old. But they've managed to, in 2025, you got to kind of have I got to have your suite situation set up. But Ditka winging quarters, what a story!
I'll remember it always. I just was watching him, and like he thought it was normal to do that, and people looked at him and they didn't blink, because that's Mike Ditka.
Well, right. I mean, hey, you know what? Don't start, none won't be none. I guess you don't poke. Don't poke the bear. That's what they were doing.
There you go.
Right.
Well, have a good one tonight. Again, 8:15, Eagles-Packers. Monday Night Countdown starts at 6 p.m. And then you have more work at 11:30, Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. Have a good one. Enjoy it. It's a great scene.
Indeed it is, Michael. Always enjoy the time. Thanks.
All right, thank you. So you hear it from Adam Schefter. Joe Schoen remains. The guy who hired the guy that wasn't good enough and got fired, he remains. So somehow, Joe Schoen, and when you're in the front office, by the way, you have access to the owners. The coach really doesn't. I mean, you're in the office, you could walk down the hall, talk with John Mara, and present your side of the story. And I guess that's what Joe Schoen did. And Joe Schoen is the guy moving forward. He's going to pick the new head coach. Remember, Brian Daboll didn't hire himself. Joe Schoen brought him along from Buffalo. Didn't hire himself. So now he's the guy who's going to be looking for the new head coach. And I said this at the beginning of the year, and I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm a broken record. Bottom line is this. Starting the season the way you did, with a lame duck coach and a lame duck GM, was not the right move. And this is what happens now. So there's a split between the coach and the GM. The coach gets fired. You have a quarterback that the coach loved. Now you got to find another coach that loves this quarterback. It can be done. Obviously it can be done. It's been done in the past. It's being done in L.A. with the Chargers. A smart coach is going to see a good quarterback and be that guy. And by keeping the GM, at least you have somebody with a vested interest in keeping Jackson Dart. But if we take a deep dive into the drafts, again, Jordan Ronan was on earlier. What has blown you away from his draft picks? I could have picked Malik Neighbors, and it's according to who do you want to believe that it was Daboll that was pressuring him to trade up. They so wanted to get Jackson Dart because of Daboll's love affair. And then I guess any of us could have picked Abdul Carter. So far, that has not manifested itself. How's Thibodeau played? Now, I did make the trade for Burns. Burns turned out to be a great player. Now, he's going to be in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year. I get it. But there's a lot of clunkers in there, too. There's a lot of clunkers. And you can't forget, he wasted a high draft pick on Evan Neal, who can't get on the field. He cannot get on the field for the Giants. That's on Joe Schoen. He made that pick. So Schoen believes there's more talent there than 2 and 8. And there is, because there are 3 games they let get away. And Daboll is not without fault here. He's turned over the coaching staff. He fired Wink Martindale. He made the dumb move of going into the tent and costing himself $100,000 to check on Jackson Dart when he knows it's against the rules, and also cost the organization a lot of money because of the fine. So both of them have a lot of blame on their plate, but there's one guy that's out of work today, and that's Brian Daboll, and Joe Schoen gets to pick the new head coach. Let's talk about this. I've had a lot of guests, and now I want the biggest guest of all you, 1-800-919-3776. So now we know Schoen stays, Daboll's gone. Your thoughts on that? The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets. From yards to touchdowns to who will win, with FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. Tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 30% PBT. That's right. You can get in on the action with a 30% PBT tonight during the Eagles-Packers game. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/K to bet on the game. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 plus and physically present in New York, opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The Giants have fired head coach Brian Daboll.
He's out. Brian Daboll's been fired by the Giants, according to Adam Schefter.
I think that we kind of had a sense that this was possible. We knew this was coming. It is just Brian Daboll who has been dismissed. That is the only one.
Offensive coordinator Mike Kafka will serve as the interim head coach.
The biggest thing this team can do is make sure it's protecting its quarterback. We've got a quarterback that has been evaluated for 4 concussions. We've got a team that has blown double-digit leads in 4 different road games.
Keep it on ESPN New York as the story continues to develop.
Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Let me tell you about my friends at Bathfitter. They remodeled the bath by my pool. They converted a tub into a shower. The result is amazing. Bathfitter offers all types of custom bath renovations, including their unique PermaFit solution for a watertight fit. It's done in one day, easy to clean, and durable with no demo or mess, and it costs less than a standard replacement, plus a lifetime guarantee. Right now, you get no money down, no payments or interest until 2027. So start designing your bath today at bathfitter.com. There's only one Bathfitter.
My dad is bringing home the best birthday cake ever.
It was my 5th birthday, and my dad was bringing home the cake.
Should have been here a half hour ago.
The cake never made it, and neither did my dad.
911, what's your emergency?
That was the day a drunk driver killed my dad.
Daddy?
Impaired drivers take lives. Think.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. Aired in cooperation with the New York State Broadcasters Association.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Score a win this game day with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup. Need that new football jersey for the big matchup? With Amazon Pickup, you can collect your order from secure Amazon lockers or counters near you on your schedule. Whether you're running from work or home or straight to the tailgate, Amazon Pickup makes it easy and worry-free at no extra cost. Don't miss kickoff. Grab your gear and your packages when it works for you. Find your nearest Amazon Pickup location at amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidde Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidde helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products.
Rich Eisen here. As you all know, I care deeply about pediatric cancer research and awareness. That's why I'm proud to talk about Hyundai Hope on Wheels. For over 27 years, every Hyundai sold has helped fund life-saving pediatric cancer research. Together with over 850 dealers nationwide, they've raised more than $277 million, supporting over 25,000 kids in their fight against cancer. At Hyundai, hope isn't optional. It comes standard. Visit HyundaiUSA.com and search Hyundai Hope on Wheels to learn more.
Good follow on Twitter, Giants Daily. And Giants Daily breaks this down. 2016, the Giants fired Tom Coughlin. They hired Ben McAdoo. Their record since 53-104-1, second worst in the NFL. In 2017 and 18, the Giants fired Jerry Reese and Ben McAdoo and hired Dave Gettleman and Pat Shurmur. Their record since 2018, 39-86-1, fourth worst in the NFL. 2019-20, Giants fire Shurmur. They hire Joe Judge. Their record since 2020, 30-63-1, second worst in the NFL. In 2022, the Giants fired Dave Gettleman and Joe Judge and hired Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. Their record since then, 20-40-1, fourth worst in the NFL. And since 2023, the Giants have a record of 11-33, second worst in the NFL. The worst, by the way, is the Jets. So it's been a dumpster fire. It really is. So when you continue to make the same mistake over and over again, aren't we the insane ones that think they're going to get it right now? Because Joe Shane hired Brian Daboll, and he got the okay from Mara and Tisch. They couldn't wait to get rid of Tom Coughlin. Now, Tom Coughlin won 2 Super Bowls, 2 of the most unlikely Super Bowls of all time. And still they got rid of him. Now, it's not that odd, because although he wasn't quote-unquote fired, Yankees pushed out Joe Torre after he won 4 World Series. They made him an offer that he could refuse, so he went to the Dodgers. So it does happen. Joe Girardi won him a World Series. He got fired. So Tom Coughlin, I guess they thought, well, his time had ended. But since then, the people they brought in, terrible. Terrible. They've made mistake after mistake after mistake, and now we find out not only Brian Daboll is gone, but Joe Shane stays. Joe Shane stays. James in Pennsylvania. James.
Hey, Mike, thank you for taking my call, sir.
You got it.
Hey, I'm a big-time Giants fan, and I cannot go through this another year because this is just going to happen all over again. It has to be both of them. It cannot be one. If it's all about performance and how they play on the field, these are the players that he picked too. So he's part of this too. So if you're going to get rid of Daboll, you have to get rid of the GM too. This doesn't make any sense. I can't do this again.
Yeah, I hear you, James. I hear your aggravation, and I understand it. I really do. But as I said before the break, GMs have a better chance of surviving than the on-field manager or coach, because the GM can shape the narrative with the owner. They see them every day. Coaches don't see the owner every day. So Joe Schoen has been working it. And I'm telling you, I said this at the beginning of the show, I thought there was something fishy when all of a sudden the New York Post was given all of this access to the front office to see how they did things, to show that they're ahead of the curve. They're smart. When does that ever happen in the NFL? So Joe Schoen, boom, was in survival mode when he allowed Paul Schwartz to have all of that access to write about the front office. I've never seen that in the NFL. Other than Hard Knocks, who gives people or lets people embed themselves to write about things that the public usually doesn't see? It's a GM who's trying to get his narrative shaped for the public and also to reiterate what he probably tells the owner behind the scenes. And it shows you there are no friends in business, because Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll, they were joined at the hip. That was their thing. Schoen was with Daboll in Buffalo, brought him here. That was his first hire. So when they don't win on the field, Joe Schoen doesn't want it to look like he's not bringing in good talent. He wants to blame it on the coach. So all of a sudden, he throws Brian Daboll under the bus. Now, I'm not saying Brian Daboll doesn't deserve to be fired. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying he deserves to be fired either. I don't think there was a lot of talent there. I just don't. I know there's a lot of injuries, but there are a lot of teams with a lot of injuries that have people on the second level on the depth chart that could play. The Giants get to their second level, they're bereft of talent. Bereft. Look at what's happening in their secondary. They are bereft of talent. So you can't tell me that Joe Schoen's done such a good job. And stop with the nonsense. Well, this is still Gettleman's fault. No. Gettleman left a tough situation, especially when it came to the salary cap situation. But he left you Daniel Jones, who's having a phenomenal year now with Indianapolis. He left you Saquon Barkley, who you just cavalierly let go. How's that not on your record? How does that strike against you? How does Mara know? Because it's on tape during Hard Knocks where they weren't going to pay Barkley that money. And Mara goes, well, I really hate if he'd go to Philadelphia and they win the Super Bowl. And that's exactly what happened. That was on Joe Schoen. He did not want Saquon Barkley. And I was saying that was the worst decision in the world. But you did give away a great player for nothing to your rival, and they won a Super Bowl with him. And let's not forget Evan Neal. Evan Neal. Corey and Manalapan. What's up, Corey?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Excuse me. You know, the calamity is that everybody from the owner to now the general manager is complacent in this whole thing. And the problem going forward, and I'll want to let you speak because I'm not as eloquent as you guys, but the thing is, we're going to have a problem now because Mara, I'm not sure about Tisch. I don't know what his side is on, but Mara's going to make the ultimate decision who the coach is. I know Shane's going to. I don't want somebody in the organization. I don't want Kafka. I want a fresh new look. I mean, maybe I'm a fool, but you know what? Nothing else. Listen, they're horrible. They're horrible to watch, and I just find myself every Sunday putting the TV on and watching them anyway. But thank you for taking my call.
You don't beat yourself up on that, Corey, because you're a fan. But the danger is if you're going to go outside the organization, you're going to get a Joe Judge, you're going to get a Ben McAdoo. And Pat Shurmur was outside the organization too. So they don't like change, but they've rifled through 4 coaches in 8 years. No, 4 coaches in 10 years since Coughlin was let go. It's so if you go outside the organization, these are the same people that brought you Brian Daboll are going to bring you your next coach. The same people that brought you Joe Judge and Ben McAdoo and Pat Shurmur, they are going to bring you your next coach. And, you know, one thing, Mike Kafka has been in a hiring cycle in the last 2 years and supposedly finished second for 2 jobs. So he's thought of highly in the NFL. Let's see if he could work through the detritus that is the New York Giants. It's unbelievable. Let's go to Jose in Connecticut. Jose.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? So two things I wanted to say why I'm okay with them firing Daboll first and not Shane.
Okay.
Number one, I think, and Jordan talked about it, like, I do want to, evaluate Kafka because there is an argument to be made that, A, the Bills got better with Josh Allen after Daboll left, and B, Kafka was Mahomes' quarterback coach. So maybe, we don't know if he's saying, hey, I'm hamstrung by Daboll. So this is his chance to see if he has anything, if he's could be a little more creative, right? Under the tree of Andy Reid, right? That's number one. So I do want to give him a chance. And then number two, with Shane, I guess I'm not saying this argument, but Shane can make the argument this team is better than what the coach has coached them because I hired Wink Martindale, and what happened? Daboll couldn't get along with him, and he left, and now Shane Bowen's defense stinks. And like you mentioned earlier, Mike, they could have been 5-5, 6-4, but stupid coaching decisions. So, this could be Shane's argument to John Mara, listen, this team is better than what it looks like. Look at these stupid mistakes. Look at our defensive coordinator that he couldn't even lead, right? So I just say give them a chance. Obviously, this is the time to evaluate it all, to see if it was Daboll or not. That's going to lead to truth.
Well,
so
you know what?
That's my point.
I hear you, and I don't think it's an egregious thing to fire somebody midseason. I don't know the value of it. The only value that I could see is, you get a free look at Kafka. But is it fair to Kafka to judge him as a head coach when he comes in the middle of a season with 7 games left to go? Do we really know he hasn't put together his own staff? But it also gives you a leg up on everybody else. You could start the interviewing process. You could look into college ranks. Maybe you can even consider a Lane Kiffin. There's a lot of people that are available out there. And for Brian Daboll, he might get himself a college job. There's a lot of college jobs that are open. A lot. And he spent a lot of time in Alabama with Nick Saban. So he knows the college game. So it benefits him. It does benefit him. He got a lot of money for his 5-year contract with the Giants, $30 million. And he got 1 playoff win. But of late it has been ugly. And when you talk about, the talent is better than the record, well, the fact that they blew 3 games where they had over a 90% chance win probability in the fourth quarter does tell you that they could be 5-5 without, stretching the length of credulity. They shouldn't have lost yesterday's game. They shouldn't have lost against the Cowboys, and they certainly shouldn't have lost against the Broncos. The Broncos' fourth quarter, that's pretty much what sealed them, in my opinion. And then they played a terrible game against the Eagles. Terrible. And then yesterday, giving up 2 TDs in the final 4 minutes. A lot of things to question, going for it, not going for it. I didn't have a problem with him kicking a field goal there to go up by 10. But since it didn't work out, that's going to be the thing that's thought of. And even Russell Wilson said we needed 7 there. What a mess. What a mess. We have just awful football here in New York. Awful. Dreadful. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. That's the word. The Jets and the Giants together, it's an embarrassing display of football on a weekly basis. Despite the fact that the Jets won yesterday, their quarterback was dreadful. 6 for 11 for 54 yards, and 42 of them came off a dump-off pass to Breece Hall. So you take away that 42-yard, which I say is a rush, he threw for 12 yards. Your quarterback threw for 12 yards. That's the football we're getting here in New York. Hey, the Hess truck's back, and it's better than ever. 2 racers, 1 amazing holiday gift. The 2025 Stock Car Racers are loaded with action-packed features, including 67 animated lights, 5 realistic sounds, and a pullback motor. Available exclusively at HessToyTruck.com for $49.99 with free standard shipping and batteries included.
This fall, don't sit on the sideline because of pain. If you're tired of waking up stiff, fighting neck, back, or joint pain, and missing out on the things you love, it's time to take action. Call Dr. J. Shaw at Sandwell Pain, New Jersey's top pain specialist. Dr. Shaw is the Ivy League trained, double board certified, and laser focused on one thing: getting you back in the game. Living pain-free, no surgery, no cuts, no downtime. Just precise image-guided treatments that deliver real results. Whether it's sciatica, nerve pain, migraine, or chronic joint pain, Dr. Shaw will personalize a non-surgical game plan just for you without pain medication. Same-day and next-day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Most major insurances are accepted, so what are you waiting for? Don't let pain keep you out of the action this season. Visit Sandwell Pain to text, call, or book online. You'll wish you met Dr. J. Shaw a lot sooner. Relief starts today, and victory over pain is closer than you think.
Serving contractors, builders, and homeowners in the tri-state area since 1987, Brooklyn Window & Door is New York City's largest stocking dealer of quality Andersen window and doors. The professionals at Brooklyn Window & Door will help solve any of your window replacement needs or applications. Visit Brooklyn Window & Door's award-winning showroom to see the complete Andersen product line, including the 400, 100, A&E series. Andersen, built, backed, and serviced like no other window.
Visit Brooklyn Window & Door at 185 30th Street in Brooklyn or call 718-WINDOWS.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured.
The hustle and grit of these streets shaped me. I'm John D'Agostino, and from the concrete to the courtroom, I built this injury firm 35 years ago to get accident victims justice. So call my team first, 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You want justice? Think Jenna D'Agostino. Think D'Agostino & Associates. Justice isn't just a word. For us, it's a way of life. It's having compassion for your struggle and getting you paid for your pain. Now that's justice. D'Agostino & Associates means being there for the injured.
Seriously injured? Call my team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. D'Agostino & Associates has offices throughout New York and New Jersey and will come to you. I've been there, and I'll be there for you.
D'Agostino, law, bite back.
All the way over Barzell, score! New York Islanders hockey is back at UBS Arena, and it's time to bring the family and make some noise. With more afternoon games this season, the Islanders have special kids-themed games and activities for young fans. Play games pregame at the park and head inside for fun on the concourse and on the ice. Tickets for the 2025-26 season are on sale now. Get your tickets at NewYorkIslanders.com.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Your fantasy roster is set. The Smack Talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Make the connection today with ESPN Bet Fan Center and the ESPN Fantasy app. ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hey, Doc, nice office. Quick question. If you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Run payroll, no question.
Seriously? Well, have you run payroll before?
Paying my team with Gusto couldn't be easier. Gusto gives me unlimited payroll runs, next-day direct deposits, and automatically files my taxes. Saves me time.
Wow, that's nice.
Over here, Doc. Can I run payroll too?
Choose payroll without the pain. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
The city that never sleeps and never stops talking sports. ESPN New York is always on. Now you can live and breathe everything New York sports wherever you are. On your radio dial, on the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on YouTube. However you watch or listen, ESPN New York is always on for you. Hear us, stream us, watch us. This is ESPN New York.
All right, so this is a statement from the Giants website on Brian Daboll's firing and Shane staying. Mara says, we feel like Joe has assembled a good young nucleus of talent. We look forward to its development. Unfortunately, the results over the past 3 years have not been what any of us want. We take full responsibility for those results and look forward to the kind of success our fans expect. These are difficult decisions, and John and I do not take them lightly, said Tisch, but we feel like this is the right time to do at this time, the right thing to do at this time, and it will allow us to move forward. Rinse and repeat, same story over and over. It really is. I'm sorry. It's the same thing. In a league where so many teams make the playoffs, you've made it once in 15 years. And the team across the hall at MetLife, they're about to go 0-15. It's unbelievable. The brand of football that we watch. I mean, you watched the 49ers and the Rams yesterday, and it's not the same game that we say with the Jets and the Giants. It's not the same game. Now, speaking of the Jets, they win 27-20, and afterward, Aaron Glenn is crowing about this is what you played terrible. You played against an awful team. If you don't beat the Browns, who are you going to beat? So you're 2-7. Let's see what you do against New England on Thursday. And Garrett Wilson, again, out 2 weeks because of a bad knee, re-injured the knee. First time in his career didn't catch a ball. And Justin Fields, 6 for 11, 54 yards. Thank goodness for Breece Hall. 21 carries, 83 yards, a 42-yard touchdown. Second play of the fourth quarter, that ended up being it. And Will McDonald, the fourth, 4 sacks of Dylan Gabriel, who was awful. And for the Browns, this is how bad they were. The first loss by a team since 1950 without a touchdown, without allowing a touchdown, and held opponents to 175 yards or fewer. Before that, teams had gone 225-0. So you don't hang on the rim about that if you're the Jets. Hey, you want to win, you take a win any way you can get. They beat the Bengals, they beat the Browns, so they're really good in Ohio against Ohio teams. Let's see you do against what you do against New England. And then Baltimore. Next two might not be fun. New England killed me. I mean, I didn't think they'd go down to Tampa and win. So my 2-pack for sure was awful. I'm sorry. I lost both games. I took the Panthers too, and they ended up losing to the Saints. 0 for 2. Dreadful. I'm sorry. So sorry. So little time to get through all of this because of the Daboll firing. Clase and Luis Ortiz could face 65 years in prison. They've been charged. Ortiz was arrested Sunday in Boston. Still, Clase has not yet been arrested. Here's what I don't get. Clase's co-conspirators from 23 to 25 made $400,000. How much could this Nudnik make? How much? To throw his career away. Ortiz supposedly, allegedly joined the group in June of 2025. And he got $5,000 for throwing a ball with his first pitch of the second inning during a June 15th game in Seattle. And Clase got $5,000 for bringing Ortiz into the fray. Morons! How could you give away your whole career? Ortiz made $780,000 last year. What does $5,000 mean? Clase was making in the millions, I think $7 million a year. So even if you got $200,000, why would you do it? It's in every single ballpark, in every clubhouse. You can't gamble on the sport. In this case, Don's old saying, sometimes you're just bad guys. Sometimes you're morons. The amount of money that you could make staying on the straight and narrow and being a good baseball player dwarfs whatever you could make for getting involved with unsavory people and getting into gambling. Idiots. I know it's alleged, and Ortiz is claiming that he's totally innocent, and he will prove it. I hope they can. I don't think we'll ever see either of them ever pitch in the big leagues again. Ever. Morons. No other way to put it. The gamblers only made $400,000. How's it worth putting up a $7 million salary and an unbelievable future career where closers make $15 to $20 million a year? What could Clase have been thinking? Knicks beat the Nets 134-98. Nets are an embarrassment. If you watch that game, it was an embarrassment. And if you watch the game, you could see some of the things that Mike Brown's trying to install. The ball moves quickly. Moves around the perimeter. They get open shots in the corner where they're deadly. They look good offensively, but it's hard to judge against a miserable team like the Nets. Knicks shot 54.5% from the field, 17-37 from deep. The Nets aren't an NBA team right now. They don't belong on the floor with a team like the Knicks. Knicks have won 11 straight against them. Predators and the Rangers tonight. Rangers are 0-6-1 at Madison Square Garden. And if they can't beat the Predators, we got problems. The Predators have lost 7 of their last 8, including 4 straight. But the big story today, and I'm sure they'll be covering it from the first minute to the final minute of the show, Don Hahn and Rosenberg will be all over Brian Daboll getting fired. New head coach of the Giants in an interim scenario is Mike Kafka. Let's go to Paul in Sarasota. Paul.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I just kind of wanted to piggyback on what you and so many other fans are saying. That I don't understand the thinking that they keep doing this. Even going all the way back to when they pushed Coughlin out and they kept Reese. Then they fire Reese with his next coach. Shermer gets hired by Gettleman. He gets fired. We keep Gettleman, even though I thought he did a little bit better job getting a few players. And now we're going to do it again. I don't understand why they don't make the clean break of both.
It's a great point, Paul, and we see it happen all the time, especially with these New York teams. They fire the coach, they leave the GM. So then you're both uneven because the GM doesn't get 3 coaching hires, and then should the coach be fired after a short amount of time because the GM was not successful? It's a mess. It's a mess. We saw it with Idzik. I mean, that's what they do. That's what bad teams do. They don't align properly, and they make bad moves. So we're supposed to feel confident the Giants are going to find the right coach this time when they haven't since they fired Coughlin. What a mess. We'll talk more about it tomorrow at 1. Don Hahn and Rosenberg coming up next right here. And in the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you tomorrow at 1.
New York Lottery's holiday scratch-off games are the perfect gift for everyone on your list.
Like me, your Aunt Jules. I told you I didn't need a gift this year, but I secretly really want one.
Or me, your neighbor